You would think coming into a new year would be the perfect reset, new goals, fresh mindset, but honestly, it just kind of feels like everyone's dragging themselves through the days, or at least I am. You know, it kind of reminds me of my senior year in school, also known as year 12 in Australia. You'd think that that year would be the most motivating year ever, right? You know, it's the final stretch. All these years of school have built up to this moment, but that was not the case for me. That year, I was so mentally clocked out. I was skipping so much class, and I did not give a shit about any of the work that I was actually doing. But it's interesting because school ended then. After my senior year, that was done. It's kind of concerning that I have that same mindset with my job right now, and I'm only 26. You're telling me I'm supposed to be working for another 40 years, but I have this feeling right now. As soon as the new year hit, I did not feel refreshed at all. I just sort of had this moment of damn, we're just doing this again. You know, working the same job, going through the same motions. It's so unmotivating. But the funny thing is, I've sort of realized in a way, I am wagging, I am skipping school, I am skipping work to do this YouTube. It is currently 11:29 in the morning and I'm clocked in for a full day shift, and here I am recording this video. And I don't know what it is, but working on my own stuff is so much more motivating than anything else. Doing this right now doesn't feel like a drag. It doesn't feel like a 9 to 5 drag. And I think that's part of the reason so many people feel so unmotivated right now. I feel like a lot of people are almost waking up to the fact of oh, hey, I don't need to do the same job for 40 years just to then do what I want. People want to start doing what they want now, and job hopping is more prevalent than ever. And if anything, it's encouraged. How many of us have said to ourselves, this year's gonna be different, but January 1st rolled around and you've still got the same job. And now that 2025 is sort of going, we're in full force right now, nothing has changed. When it comes to my work life, nothing has changed this year. If anything, I'm technically earning less money because the value of the dollar is so low right now. And I think a lot of people are feeling this feeling right now because you spend years and months pushing through work, and that's what's actually drained you. You've expected to reach an end point where you can feel refreshed. You know, this isn't school anymore. I haven't just finished year 12 and I can move on to something new. We've almost realized that we're stuck in this and nothing is changing. And how unmotivating is that? There was this brief holiday break that's supposed to recharge you, but to be honest, it didn't recharge me at all. I felt like I was catching up on sleep, and if anything, that time away taught me and engraved in my brain that I don't want to be doing this. Of course, I'm going to feel drained when I'm working for them. This new year rolled in, and instead of feeling recharged, I've literally just started another loop. The same job, the same responsibilities, the same co-workers. And for a lot of us, I feel like we just don't have another year in us. You know, I don't know if I've got another year of this in me to do this 9 to 5 corporate job. I have to, and that's what sucks, and that's the hardest part. But if I look deep within, I don't have the energy to work for this company. I read somewhere that burnout doesn't come from just working too hard. It comes from working hard on things you don't care about. And that really hit me because I'm feeling that right now. I'd rather find a new job than try to excel in the one that I've got right now. Not because I'm lazy or not because I technically dislike my job. I'm just craving something new. And I can't believe that we've started the new year and we're just right back to where we were. I need to find something that sparks motivation again. And obviously I've got this YouTube channel and my clothing brand, Memory Faded, but realistically, that's not paying the bills. I need to do a 9 to 5. I'm just reading now, there's actually a term for the thing that I was feeling in senior year. And this is just a made up term, but it's called senioritis. And it's when you're so close to the end of something that your brain just refuses to keep pushing. And that's exactly what this new year feels like for a lot of people. And it feels like every year is just a continuation of the last. It feels like I've just been in one big meshed together year that just hasn't ended, and there is no end in sight. So of course people are motivated. My heart goes out to people that are 35 or older feeling the same thing because you've been doing it for 10 years more than me. I can't imagine doing this same thing for 10 years. This new year does not feel like a new chapter at all. It feels like a new chapter in my personal life when it comes to, you know, this YouTube channel, my relationship and all that sort of stuff. But when it comes to corporate and work, it feels like I'm in the same book, and even more to that, I'm stuck on the same page. Lately I've been catching myself thinking, man, I just need a new job. I would love to not have a job and do my own stuff, but realistically, I really just need a job. So I may as well just get a new one. Not necessarily a better job, just different. Because the idea of staying in the same place, doing the same thing for another year, I can't imagine it, and it's so exhausting. And I really do think a lot of people feel like that. And I think the pandemic made everyone reevaluate what they're doing with their lives. Like right now you see people quitting jobs left and right with very minimal notice because they want to leave for work that feels more meaningful or at least less draining. Like honestly, I think wagging, I don't know if that's an Australian term, but we used to use wag as like I'd wag school. I'm wagging school. I'd skip school. But anyway, I think wagging or skipping is the perfect word for what a lot of us want to do with our jobs right now. Like back in school, we could just do it because it wasn't that serious. You could just skip this class, skip that class, leave school, however early. But like now as adults, if we want to skip responsibilities and work, we sort of can't, especially in this economic climate. So like when I work on YouTube, instead of fully committing to my 9 to 5, it's my way of wagging. You know, it's my way of skipping class, skipping work, something that doesn't feel like I'm dragging myself through the day just to come home and be tired anyway. And I think that's what a lot of people need. Like I don't necessarily want you to quit your job today, tomorrow, unless that's what you want to do, go for it. But I'm just talking about finding something that breaks the routine, something that reminds you that there's more to life than just the grind. And it's very easy for me to say because I'm working from home right now and I can just turn on the mic and talk. So I'm not too sure how you'd find the balance of that if you were working in a physical place. But for instance, when I was working at a physical job, I used to bring my laptop in and make beats. If I didn't bring my laptop in, I was listening to making beat tutorials on my phone while I worked. Like there's just little things that you can do in your work day to make it feel like you're skipping work or feel like you're wagging your job, but it's not really. And this is just another thing that I've noticed, and maybe you feel this too, and it's that everything feels kind of bland, like nothing's really hitting like it used to. And I think part of that comes from what people are calling a dopamine deficit. So basically when you're constantly overstimulated, whether that's scrolling, watching, gaming, or anything like that, your brain gets used to like quick hits of dopamine. So when it comes to working or chasing long-time goals, it feels kind of boring because we've used all of our dopamine on stuff that doesn't matter. I remember back when I was heavy into gaming, especially the Xbox 360 era, everything felt so exciting, but now it's so hard to get the same buzz, and that could contribute to the lack of motivation too. At the end of the day, I realized I'm most motivated when I'm working on my own stuff. Like these YouTube videos do not feel like work at all. Creating designs and bringing my ideas into life in the form of my clothing brand, that stuff does not drain me. Like that stuff does not feel like work. And it just doesn't feel like a regular job. And that's because I'm really creating for myself and I'm building something that feels like it matters, for me at least. And to me, that's the ultimate motivator. And if you're like me, feeling unmotivated coming to this year, maybe you don't need a new job. Maybe you just need your thing, like something that gives you reasons to be excited again. And I love that I've inspired some people to make YouTube videos. And if you are one of those people that have made YouTube videos by being inspired by me or people in the same community, like don't give up, love that. And I'm so like proud that I've affected someone's life that way. Like that's the coolest thing. And even me saying this now, if you haven't started a YouTube channel or you haven't done this or that, like just do it, man, just start it. I think a lot of us are dealing with the same thing and we really just need to think of these things to get us out of that mindset. Like the new year, the date on the calendar isn't going to magically reset your life. So you sort of got to do it yourself. Like maybe wagging a little bit or mentally checking out of other stuff that drains you and using that percentage to then put it into something that fuels you is not a bad thing. Maybe that's actually how we get through this. If you're still here at the end of the video, I appreciate you so much. And let me know if you're feeling the same way, because a lot of people in my life right now are feeling the exact same and we can't really put a finger on why we're feeling like this. As always, all my links are in the description. That being my clothing brand, Memory Faded, my Instagram for the clothing brand, and my personal Instagram, all my streaming links. And I recently made a Twitter as well, so go follow that because we be shit talking on there. But yeah, love you guys, appreciate you guys. Subscribe if you like this video, like the video if you enjoyed it. Hopefully I'll see you again, but regardless, it's been once faded. Peace.